Before we speak of good and evil, praise or blame, or the law of retribution, let us look at life as a stream of movements, each with its slope and direction. Every arising thought carries both. It either warms or cools the heart within, drawing the mind toward the narrow path of self-interest, or widening it into the field of compassion. From the very first instant, the quality of intention imprints itself upon the body, upon the words we speak, and upon the way we touch another being. This continuity does not wait for the future. It is felt here and now, in the rhythm of the breath, in the subtle tension and release throughout the body. Karma, when seen rightly, is not a matter of tomorrow. It is unfolding in this very moment. It is nourishment or entanglement, arising instantly the moment we nurture a thought, utter a word, or take an action. A wholesome intention deepens and expands the breath. A clouded motive tightens the shoulders, compresses the eyes and the brow. These subtle changes are not by chance. They are the first imprint of cause upon effect. In time, that imprint replicates itself into wealth, health, and relationships. Yet the original seed always springs from the quality of one's intention. Still, life has its delay in many channels. One cause may ripen through the body, another may blossom through the heart or within society. Sometimes one channel ripens early, while another ripens late. To judge the whole from a single moment is to read life in haste. When we accept delay as a natural law, impatience softens, bitterness fades. When we remember that fruits arise through many channels, we judge less harshly and learn to place our effort in the right place, to refine the cause, to adjust the conditions, rather than to chase the results. Do not turn karma into a ledger of debts. A mind keeping accounts becomes narrow, meditation turns into barter, and actions become transactions. Reality moves in simpler ways. A pure intention brings forth pure conditions. A clouded motive draws clouded conditions in return. When the motivation shifts its configuration, the conditions around us begin to change as well. No threats are needed, no promises required, only honesty with what is arising within, and steadfastness toward what is right in the small, repeated choices of each day. This path is one of direct observation and inner experiment, to look deeply into body and mind and see the mechanisms of misunderstanding that quietly bind us. Then to apply simple yet enduring practices, adding no new beliefs to burden the mind, but merely restoring clarity, so that we may use natural law as a lever for transformation. As clarity grows, effort scatters less. When effort no longer stumbles upon greed, anger, or delusion, its direction naturally aligns itself. Misunderstanding not only leads us astray, it also distorts karma, turning it into something rigid, fearful, or useless. The purpose here is not to argue, but to untangle and to reveal a clearer seeing. Karma and causation are laws of natural unfolding. The clearer our understanding, the greater our freedom and compassion. Misconception. 1. Karma is a fate already written. Many, upon hearing of karma, believe that everything is predestined and that we can only endure. In truth, karma is the momentum born of habitual mind patterns, yet every mindful moment is a point of turning. No matter how strong the momentum, it can be redirected by a new choice. To speak of karma alone is not to justify surrender, but to remind us of our responsibility for every seed we plant. Misconception 2. Karma is a system of reward and punishment ruled by an unseen power. To link cause and effect with an invisible judge is to invite fear and superstition. Karma carries no emotion of liking or aversion. It merely reflects the structure of dependent origination. As the cause is, and within what conditions, so the result will arise. When we see this clearly, we no longer pray for favor or fear punishment. We simply cultivate the cause and refine the conditions. Misconception 3. Every action must bring its result immediately. In nature, no seed demands to bear fruit the moment it sprouts. Some fruits ripen in a season, others take years to mature. So too with the mind, some thoughts yield instant sensations, while some deeds require time and nurturing to take form. Delay is not injustice, it is the logic of the seed and its soil, the natural rhythm of becoming. Misconception 4. Only actions create karma. Thoughts do not matter. Many underestimate mental karma, yet it is intention itself that shapes the essence of karma. An action within the law, but born from arrogance, differs greatly from the same action arising from loving kindness. Intention is the mold, while speech and action are merely its outer form. To correct behavior yet ignore intention is to let the outcome remain distorted. Misconception 5. Doing good to barter for blessings. When virtue becomes a transaction, the mind fills with calculation, and it is this very calculation that clouds the wholesome fruit. To do good simply because it is right, because love arises naturally, is to touch peace in the present moment, where the heart widens and the body feels light. Future merit is merely the residue of a present already pure. Misconception 6. Using karma to blame the victim. Some use the phrase, "you reap what you sow," to turn away from the suffering of others. That is a narrow view, one lacking compassion. We never have enough insight to judge the entire web of causes and conditions that shape a person's life. To understand karma rightly is to become humble and to be ready to offer good conditions, for supporting others is itself a form of wholesome karma. Misconception 7. Karma concerns only the individual, not the community. Alongside individual karma, there is also collective karma. Shared habits form culture, institutions, and environments. A dishonest society will create systems that reward deceit. A community that honors integrity will nurture integrity in return. As individuals, we cannot stand outside collective karma, yet each right choice is still a seed, quietly and steadily contributing to great change. Misconception 8. Rituals can erase karma. Ritual has value only when it awakens mindfulness and resolves us to transform our life. No ceremony can replace stopping unwholesome habits, nourishing wholesome ones, and looking straight into our intention. If after the ritual we still water greed, anger, and delusion, the old momentum will prevail. Misconception 9. Letting go equals giving up. Letting go means releasing attachment to outcomes, not relinquishing responsibility for causes. One who understands karma does one's part fully with a non-clinging mind, then allows results to arrive according to conditions. Giving up abandons effort. Letting go keeps effort pure, free of ambition and fear. Misconception 10. One cause yields exactly one effect. Life does not move in a straight line. A result is the confluence of many causes and many conditions, including time and the interplay of habits. Linear thinking invites hasty conclusions. The vision of dependent arising gives us patience and wisdom in cultivation. Once these knots are untied, karma appears unmysterious. It becomes a practical map. To align intention, choose speech, choose action, shape the environment, and trust the process. Seen this way, we no longer wait for instant fairness, nor despair over passing injustice. We return to planting the right causes in the present, for the quality of the fruit is already present at the very moment of sowing in the heart. To look with the eye of science is not to argue with religion, but to take up a magnifying glass with which life can be examined. Through this lens, we notice what is often missed. Outcomes are not random. They are products of repeated mechanisms, delay, phase thresholds, feedback loops, and the environment we inhabit each day. Mechanism 1. Microaccumulation. What is repeated will grow. Neuroscience calls this tendency neurons that fire together, wire together. Where we place attention often, the neural network for that behavior thickens. Where we starve it, the network thins. A minute of doom scrolling each hour seems small, yet months later the brain and emotional reflexes have formed a preferred pathway. Conversely, a minute of slow breathing before replying feels trivial, yet with enough accumulation, reactivity loses its seat. Karma here is not mystical. Repetition is sowing, and the density of repetition is the richness of the soil. Mechanism 2. Delay and thresholds. Many results do not appear linearly. They quietly accumulate until a threshold is reached. Then a phase shift occurs. A few weeks of late nights may mean only mild fatigue. Beyond a threshold, attention declines clearly. A few weeks of meditation may feel uneventful. Beyond a threshold, the mind naturally flares less. Understanding delay softens hasty conclusions and grows right patience. Not seeing yet does not mean non-being, it means ripening. Mechanism 3. Feedback loops. Positive feedback amplifies, turning a seed into a wave. One sharp word makes another shrink. Shrinking breeds suspicion. Suspicion sharpens the next word. Negative feedback self-regulates, stabilizing the system. One breath before speaking softens the next sentence. That softness loosens the other's body, and the climate of tension begins to cool. When we recognize the loop in motion, we can bend the loop with a small adjustment at the right point. One more breath, a revised sentence, a different posture. Mechanism 4. Signal and noise. The brain is a probabilistic filter. What we label important is amplified. What we dismiss is compressed. When a habit of attention repeats, say, clicking sensational news, the outer algorithm funnels more of the same our way, and the inner algorithm prioritizes the same viewpoint. We mistake that filtered stream for the world itself, not seeing it as the world after the filter we are training. Karma here is concrete. The seconds our eyes linger are the causes. The torrent of incoming content is the effect. Mechanism 5. The habit architecture. A repeated action often rests on three pieces: a cue, a routine, and a reward. To change a habit need not require vast willpower. Often it is enough to change the cue or change the reward. When one piece shifts, the whole chain shifts. Here, karma is sequence design, giving the new cause a chance to outweigh the old. Mechanism 6. Homeostasis and allostatic load. The body keeps its balance by continuous adjustment under pressure. Short bursts of pressure build resilience. Prolonged, unhealed pressure creates total load and wears us down. Thus, not only what we do, but the rhythm of work and rest is also a cause. A schedule with well-spaced recovery points yields the fruit of clarity far longer than a schedule that relies on strain alone. Mechanism 7. Network contagion. Emotions and behaviors are contagious. A group that discounts trust builds rewards for deceit. A community that honors integrity accumulates social capital and draws like-minded people. Thus, karma is not merely personal, it is also a network effect. When we plant a wholesome seed into the shared field, it does not sit still. It travels the links and returns to us as opportunity, support, or simply a more breathable environment. Mechanism 8. Measurement shapes behavior. What is measured gets optimized. If a company only measures sales, staff will close deals at any cost, even with poor quality. But if it measures 6-month return rate, the work will shift toward reputation and durable service. So too for an individual. Measure surface achievements and shortcuts appear. Measure kindness in every decision, and the causes themselves begin to change. With these mechanisms, we may read life as a gentle experiment. Plant the right causes, allow favorable conditions, and let time do its part. A scientific gaze makes karma concrete. We know where to touch, and how long to wait. Thus we stop complaining about no results and return to redesign our day, our feedback loops, our filters, our networks. Then one day, without any grand sign, we notice more ease in the smallest things. Here science and dharma meet. Right causes, clear fruits, not by favor, but because systems simply work that way. Science shows the mechanisms, yet there remains the personal signature, karma. If cause and effect is the universal law, then karma is the individual configuration by which that law takes a unique path. Without karma, causation remains an abstract equation. With karma, the equation attaches to a life, how we think, speak, and act, and the matching conditions that gather around. In short, causation is the law. Karma is our fingerprint upon it. Karma is not only visible behavior, at its core is intention, the force behind choice. Speech and action are but the outer shell. The inner imprint arises even before words or movement, carving a new pathway in nerves and storehouse consciousness. Repeated use makes a groove. In the next similar moment, body-mind slides there again. Thus, even a passing thought carries weight, not because the universe keeps books in kindness or cruelty, but because we are training our own system. At the micro level, karma works like a probability shift. It increases the likelihood of the same reaction to the same cue. Years of suspicion train a filter keen for betrayal. Long practice of gratitude trains a filter that prefers the wholesome. Two people enter the same room, yet live different worlds. Karma is routing attention and feeling. From small choices, a temperament forms. From temperament, matching ties and chances arrive. Thus, karma is both momentum and magnet. Across time, karma ripens in layers. Immediate, a harmful intention tightens body, narrows breath, heats the mind, the instant fruit of motive. Short-term, months of falsehood breed a climate of distrust. Months of keeping one's word bring entrusted work. Long-term, repeated choices crystallize into major turns. Steady learning opens a new vocation. Indulgence exhausts the body. No metaphysics is needed, only honest history of one's own steps. Do not equate karma with fate. Karma is a pulling tendency, not an immutable sentence. Every chain still holds points of turn. the moment we see a motive about to drag us down the old path and set a new intention. Once may show little, 100 times draws a new orbit. Momentum remains, yet its amplitude shrinks, dissolves, is replaced. Not wishful thinking, but the physics of dynamical systems. A new signal, repeated enough and on time, overrides the old model. There are shared patterns of family, organization, community, collective karma. In a careless field, sloppiness looks normal. In a field that honors integrity, keeping one's word feels natural. Seeing this, we are less proud in fortune, less harsh in trial, and wiser in choosing soil for our seeds. No one can remove our karma for us, yet in wholesome contexts, transformation costs less strain. Transforming karma is not erasing ink by prayer or rite. It is changing the feed. An old pattern survives because we water it by thinking, speaking, living in its shape. When we stop watering and nurture the new, the system restructures, awkward at first, then smoother, until the new reflex becomes natural. 3 foundational moves. Honest recognition without excuse. Accountability in action. Amends, restitution, boundaries. Conscious repetition of the right acts, small but steady. These are the spine of every path of transformation. Does repentance erase karma? If it is only regret, no. It becomes self-blame and keeps watering the old seed. If it is clear seeing, stopping the feed, replacing and repairing, then it is true transformation. Fix a link in the chain, and a new chain forms. Distinguish merit and virtue power in karma's context. Merit shapes outer ease, opportunity, resources, support. Virtue power shapes inner ease, steadiness, clarity, loving kindness. Merit can be spent. Virtue power becomes capacity that does not vanish. As it grows, old adversities weigh less. The receiver has changed. Less impulsive, less story-making, less secondary karma. To know if we are truly transforming or merely repainting, observe quiet signs. Is the gap between knowing and being swept wider? Do bursts of anger show less amplitude? After a shock, can we close with a right act instead of spinning a new chain? Are core relationships less abrasive? Is sleep deeper, breath easier? These are the voices of a system adjusted. Karma teaches precisely. Learn the lesson and old scores cool. Miss it and we change roles in the same play. Precision here is not coldness. It travels with kindness to self and others. Seeing someone repeat an old road, we remember we were once there. We offer a wholesome condition within reach that already transforms karma for us and the shared field. To touch the ultimate, see 2 truths as compatible. On the conventional level, cause-effect is clear. Harsh words break, kindness mends, wise choice reshapes fate. Thus ethics and responsibility are meaningful. On the ultimate level, all dharmas are empty of own nature. No separate owner or thing stands apart. Because nothing is fixed, causes can change, fruits can turn. If all were rigid, liberation would be impossible. Seeing dependent arising, we stop installing a central owner. Doer, sufferer, and thing done are labels upon one movement. Clinging loosens, the whirl loses force. Karma keeps working, yet no one is bound. Within the mind is a capacity, silent yet luminous. When a thought arises, we may cling and feed it, birthing new karma, or we may let it display and fade within that silent light. This is not a trick of control, but non-interfering knowing. When it stands firm, old chains are not fed, and a new order appears. Peace not by acquisition, but by nothing left to stir. From this ultimate view, time softens. Past, present, future are layers for naming. In awakened experience, there is only the flowing now. A fresh intention tinges the entire stream. Hence, ease or unease is tasted at inception, not after the event. When motive is no longer stained by ignorance, the present stream is clear. The future fruit is but its continuation across changing conditions. Standing thus, we see the living web without adding a center. Pressure drops, loops unwind. Karma remains precise, yet transparent, passing through body, speech, and mind like wind through bamboo, leaving a soft resonance, no storm. Practically, this yields no demand for instant fairness, but patient wisdom, knowing the whole picture ripens in time. No using karma to accuse, but offering right conditions, knowing each person stands in a complex configuration. No chasing outcomes, but cultivating the quality of causes in small acts. No seeking a dispenser, but quiet joy in work done fully. As clinging to me and mine quiets, fruits still arise by conditions, but without a leash. Joy is known as joy, pain as pain, no extra story to fortify a phantom self. The bond lies not in the fruit, but in the story around it. Drop the story and the bond falls. Thus, karma and freedom are not at odds. Karma assures order, freedom preserves innocence. In a single whole breath, the ultimate truth of karma is already present. Process continues, yet the one processed is absent. Karma is not decor for the mind, nor threat. It is the principle at work in every breath of life. Seeing this, we complain less, demand less miracle, and begin to use each day to sow bright causes, not for grand results, but because the quality of the fruit is here the moment of planting. A gentle word brings a minute of peace, a clear thought opens space to breathe. What matters is not to argue past karma, but to return to the steering point now, where freedom remains to set intention, and habit need not repeat. Understood this way, each day becomes a living laboratory. Small adjustments, careful watching, time as witness, and quietly the trajectory changes color, strain easing into ease. At last we see, maker, sufferer, and fruit are labels upon one motion. Self-clinging loosens, karma stays exact, yet the prisoner is gone. Ethics becomes natural to an unclouded mind. Compassion flows unforced from a heart unbound. Triat Tam offers this not to add belief, but to invite verification in your own life. Return to one simple point. Does this cause make the heart wider or narrower, clearer or dimmer, softer or tenser? Set it right there, and karma will carry the rest. Then you will see. Karma was never a burden, but an opening to reset direction daily so that small choices unfold a different life, with gratitude for your companionship. At the moment of planting, the fruit is already here. At the moment of stopping, the inertia is released. At the moment of seeing, freedom appears.